Hey everyone, it is birthday bash week here at Missouri Star. We are celebrating our 17th birthday with a little stitch and stampede, and so I have a project with that in mind. We'll be using our hats and boots template builder set to make this adorable rodeo roundup quilt. So let's get started. Yeehaw!
Yeah!
Today's project is super fun, and like I said, it's to help celebrate our 17th birthday at Missouri Star. So thank you guys for being here for all these years and having so much fun with us. It means the absolute world. We couldn't do it without all of you. And so for today's project, you are going to need, of course, this template builder set that will give you all the pieces for the hats and boots that you see behind me. You're also going to want a pack of these denim light indigo washed 10-inch squares. There are only 24 in these denim packs, so you'll just need one. I also use these adorable Woolies flannels from Maywood, so you'll want to grab a pack of those. And you'll need some So Light fusible, some scissors, and a marking pen. So let's get started. So in this template builder set, there are 3 different styles that you get. You get this side view of the Western hat and all the little pieces to add the details. You get a front view that's just a little simple option with a band, and then also the boot with all the pieces as well. And so I just used the side view of the hat and the boot in the quilt that you see behind me, but feel free to mix it up however you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and move some of these out of the way for now. And we are just going to use our So Light fusible. And I like to just start by tracing my shapes on here with whatever marking pen you like. Whoops. Make sure it doesn't shift on me. There we go. There's the base of our hat, and then you'll just continue tracing these out. But typically you want the base of the hat and this little brim and the top. And I like to use different fabrics for these so it gives our hat some dimension. And so you'll just trace all the shapes you need for whichever design you are deciding to play with. I have some of them already ready to go, so that gives you the idea. And we will set these aside for now. And now we can just rough cut around these with our scissors. And we can find what fabric we want to be the base of our hat. And so I think I'm going to use this little tan polka dot. I think that's super cute. So I'll put that right sides down on my ironing board. And then we're going to put, of course, the bumpy side, the glue side of our fusible down towards the fabric. And we're going to hit it with a nice hot, dry iron. Lovely. And then once that is fully fused, we can come back and now we can cut directly on our outline. And, you know, hold on to this piece because you can use it for other little details in your hats. So you might actually want to take the time to go through your pack and pick out maybe the 20 that you don't think you'd love for the boots and the hats that you'll be making, because there are some like blues in there that maybe don't have as much contrast as you'd like. And then you know you'll have enough for the back side of our little rag quilt, and you'll be happy with all the options you choose for the front. So there we go. Now we have that all cut out. It doesn't really look like a hat yet, but we're about to make some magic. So I have some other pieces in different prints that I already traced and cut out. So now that we have all of these cut out, we can grab one of our 10-inch denim squares, and I like to just set this on my pressing mat. Move this out of the way so you guys can see here. There we go. And then now we're just gonna peel off that paper backing from all of our shapes. And I like to just crease that. If that's difficult for you, you can score it with a straight pin. We just wanna peel that away and leave the glue behind. There we go. And so I'm gonna begin by just kind of floating this in the center here. Here's my other pieces. And I'm just gonna test all of this layout before I fuse anything. So that kind of overlaps there. And here is, there we go. How does this work? Like that. I got turned around. There's that piece. We have a little detail for our hat band here. It's going to tuck in there. And you see, you just have to do a little bit of maneuvering so that everything covers where it needs to. Beautiful. So actually, let me move this over to the middle here so you guys can see it. Make sure you can see all the details here. And then we'll just finish peeling these off. And adding all these little fun elements. So I'll tuck this flower in behind there. And then we need a center. For our flower. And a leaf. There we go. And I cut one other bill just as an option, but I like that one that I used. So I'm just going to tuck this in here behind my flower. I think that looks adorable. So if you have like a little stiletto, you can gently adjust things, but now I'm just gonna carefully press my iron straight down, no shifting because we don't want any of these pieces to slide around. So I'll just hold it there, lift and press, and make my way across. There we go. All right, I think that looks great. So from this point, you're going to take this block and you'll want to top stitch this down. So I have put invisible thread on my machine. I'm not going to take the time to do all of this on camera, but just go ahead and tack all of these edges so they're nice and secure. But for our next step, now we're going to sandwich this with a piece of flannel. So I'll grab this here. And so we are just going to put these wrong sides together. And we are going to put this together like a rag quilt. So I'm going to take this to the machine and I'm just going to sew an X corner to corner in both directions. I'm going to eyeball it. If you wanted to use chalk or something to mark it so you can see, feel free to. So we're just going to stitch point to point, and I like to take a few stitches and then just make sure that this opposite corner is in line with my needle. There's that one. Now we'll turn and go in the opposite direction as well. Just make sure I'm as straight as I can be. Beautiful. So that is the base of all of our blocks. You can see how that turns out. If you want to give it a little press, you can. I just had white thread in the back. It doesn't bother me for that to show up on the flannel. So I have a few more that I've finished here. I've got another hat, and I have a little cowboy boot. And I did want to point out, It's super fun to add some little embroidery details. And so we put some flowers coming out of the boots here, and we put a little tie on the hat band. Just fun, totally optional. I just thought it was super, super cute. And so now let's talk a little bit about the layout. So I just did 4 across by 5 down, and I just alternated between the hats and the boots. And so now let's talk about how we're gonna put these together since we did them rag quilt style. So I went ahead and I switched the thread on my machine back to regular thread. No more invisible thread now. And so we are just gonna put these with our flannel sides together, and we are gonna sew down the side with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So a little wider than we traditionally use, but we really want that fray effect for this rag quilt. And so that's what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and take this over here. Make sure I'm still all lined up. Beautiful. And so then you can see once you open that up, you get all of these layers that are kind of poking up. And so we're just gonna take our scissors. Where did I set mine? And we can just snip those. You just wanna be careful not to snip through your threads. So just close to them. And I snip every, I don't know, 1/4 inch or so. And this will just help us have all that fun texture when we wash it. And so I would, sew them together in rows, just like you do a traditional quilt. And you can either snip in between or wait till the very end and snip it all at one time. That's totally up to you. But once you have your whole top, all 4 by 5 put together, the last thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna come and you're gonna stitch that 1/2 inch all the way around the outside edge. So you can also snip that and have that frayed edge on the end. And that is it. Is really that simple. I think it's such a fun project. I hope you guys have a wonderful birthday bash week, and we'll see you next time on At Home. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching At Home. We're so excited to be almost 1 million quilters strong here at Missouri Star. And so if you haven't already joined our family, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified of all of our future tutorials, and we'll see you soon.